So how significant is this?
Well, they've been working on TIFA, the Trade and Investment Framework Agreement between China and Taiwan and the United States since the late 1990s. But again, politics have gotten in the way. Different administrations have gotten in the way. But the Biden administration looks as though it wants to push these talks back up higher. Again, official talks have not been announced, but Antony Blinken earlier this week did indicate that they want to restart talks, and other media are reporting that those talks between Catherine Tai, the U.S. trade representative, and her Taiwanese counterparts could begin as early as today to begin the process of restarting negotiations or talks on this trade and investment framework agreement. Now, some in Congress actually want the U.S. to eventually go as far as to have talks on a free trade agreement, a bilateral trade agreement between Taiwan and the United States. That is far more politically sensitive, obviously, with China. But this would be, again, a first step, and comes on the heels, of course, of that U.S. military plane, the C-17, landing on Taiwan soil, which China considers Chinese soil, that on Sunday, carrying 3 U.S. senators to deliver a pledge of 750,000 COVID vaccines. Of course, there was a lot of symbolism here. This is a U.S. military aircraft, the C-17. Tammy Duckworth, you're seeing there, the senator from Illinois in a wheelchair. She is a former Army helicopter pilot who lost both of her legs in Iraq. Also, Dan Sullivan, the Republican from Alaska, is a former U.S. Marine. So there was a lot of symbolism in this as well. But again, Chinese state media response to that has been fairly muted. Again, the Chinese have called any kind of military provocation like this would be crossing a red line. So it'll be interesting to see how these trade talks will perhaps further anger Beijing.
And this is at a time that we see the US looking to commit, $52 billion to investment in homegrown semiconductors. Are chips going to be at the heart of these talks as well?
If they're not at the heart of the talks, they're going to be second on the list, right? I mean, semiconductors is the linchpin in the relationship between Taiwan and the United States. There's a global shortage. There is a competitive balance or competitive war, if you will, for securing supplies and securing the most advanced technologies in chips, which the United States at this point has an advantage. But of course, in the 14th next 5-year plan from China, Xi Jinping is pledging some $1.4 trillion over 6 years to boost its advancements in advanced chip making. And in this blueprint for the semiconductor industry, Biden has pledged $52 billion. But a part of that is to put incentives and enticements to get private investment from abroad to come and invest in the United States and to use their diplomatic muscle to gain that advantage, to get the likes of TSMC, to get the likes of Samsung to come build advanced chip plants in the United States, all part of this geopolitical competition, obviously, with China.